When you're trying to lose weight, there's nothing more frustrating than stepping on a scale after a week of healthy eating and seeing that the number has not changed at all. And then it gets even worse as the weeks typically go on and you're still not seeing any changes. As a dietitian who's been helping people lose weight for over 10 years, I've learned that there are 5 common reasons most people struggle with when it comes down to weight loss, and the reasons why they get stuck in plateaus. In this video, I'm going to reveal what those 5 reasons are and explain exactly how you can solve them so you can start seeing results. So make sure you keep watching. Hey everyone, it's Andres here. I'm back with another video to help you simplify weight loss using proven nutrition strategies and a simple lifestyle change you can be making. Today, I'm going to be tackling one of the biggest struggles that most people run into in their weight loss journey at some point. If you're watching this, maybe it's something that you're dealing with right now. I'm talking about when you're working so hard to improve your nutrition and your exercise even more, only to have the number on the scale stay exactly the same. Either that or you lost some weight and you got stuck and hit the dreaded plateau and you have no idea how to get out of that. The good news is that most of the common reasons people struggle with when it comes down to weight loss can be fixed easily once you figure out exactly what is causing the problem. Now, many people typically focus on band-aids instead of trying to focus on the root cause, and that's what we're going to be trying to get into today. Most times, it's not what you really think it is. So I'm going to take you through the exact same process I use with my clients if I notice that the number on the scale hasn't budged, or if they're struggling to lose weight to start off with. But first, I just want to give you a quick reminder that if you're a career-driven parent or a busy professional and you want to lose the weight you've gained from putting your health on the back burner, I release a new video every single week here on my YouTube channel to help you crush your goals. So make sure that if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button below, and also be sure to hit that little bell to get notified when my next video goes live. Now, before we get into these 5 reasons you might not be seeing the scale change, we have to figure out if you've actually hit a plateau. Because I've had a lot of clients over the years who come to me and they say that they're frustrated because the scale isn't changing, but when we look beyond the scale, they're actually seeing some pretty amazing results. Now, this issue comes from a very common misconception that if you're not losing weight, you're not making progress with your health and your fitness. But this is not always the case. If you focus only on this one tool for measuring your progress, it's very easy to miss or ignore all other ways that maybe progress is showing up in your life. I'm not saying you need to throw out the scale, because honestly, you can develop a better relationship with it. And what I like to do with my clients is I like to use the concept of a scoreboard, where there are other signs of progress that can be as important as weight. So for example, a big one that I like to use is body measurements. If you started going to the gym and lifting weights at the same time as changing your diet, it's possible that the scale may stay the same for a while, even though your body is changing. This happens when you lose fat and start to build muscle at the same time. This is called body recomposition. So you see your body changing, and measurements like your waist and hip circumference will start to go down, but you may not immediately see major changes on the scale. Another great way to see body changes if you don't specifically measure your body is maybe seeing either how your clothes fit, or maybe comparing photos if you're taking progress photos at the beginning of the process and as you move through your journey. Let me give you a real life example of this. One of my clients this week sent me his measurements. This is a client that started at 290 pounds. He's now 207. A few months ago, his weight was exactly around the same, 207 pounds. But when I noticed his measurements, he lost about 3 to 5 inches across different parts of his body while keeping the exact same weight. We can also look beyond physical changes to other, what I like to call non-scale victories. So for example, are you feeling happier? Are you more energetic? Are you more confident? Are you sleeping better? Are you performing better at the gym? If your weight is staying the same, but you're seeing a lot of other improvements, especially when it's a combination of physical and mental changes, that is progress, my friend. What that tells you is that you should stay on track, don't do anything drastic, and the weight changes will eventually come. When all these things are happening, but you're truly not seeing the changes you wanted to see after you went through a lot of those different things that we just went over, then we need to start going through a different inventory of potential culprits to why you're not progressing. Let's start with reason number 1. Unrealistic expectations and lack of consistent and applied effort. I see so many people give up when the results they don't want come fast enough. Weight loss requires sustained effort, and it often takes longer than you think it will. Many people who struggle to lose weight, they just haven't stayed consistent for long enough to see the results that they're looking to see, because they've been convinced by the diet industry that they're doing something wrong if they don't lose 5 pounds a week. Always ask yourself, how long did it take you to get to the point that you're really looking to change? If you gained 20 pounds, it didn't happen in 5 5 weeks. It probably happened over the course of a year, so it may take a little bit longer too, or the same amount of time to lose it as well. Now, if you have realistic expectations, you're willing to stay consistent, you're putting in the effort, and you're still not seeing any changes, that's when we can start looking at other reasons why weight loss isn't actually happening. Reason number 2 is misinformation. You might feel like you're working really hard to exercise and eat the right foods, but if you're following bad advice, it's going to be very, very hard to make progress. Now, you can think of this like going on a road trip and using an outdated map to get to your destination when it comes down to misinformation. You might start off in the right direction, but maybe there are going to be some new roads and other changes that are not on the map. Your trip will be a lot easier and much more efficient if you are using a GPS. In the same way, there's a lot of bad information on the internet and quick fix diets and different things like that rely on outdated or false information. Sometimes you may see progress, but it's much easier to lose weight when you have a clear, proven, evidence-based plan to follow. Now, let's get a little bit more into the science of this. At the most basic level, stalling in weight loss happens for one scientific and proven reason, which is you're not in a calorie deficit, meaning you're not creating a condition when you're burning more calories each day than you're actually consuming through food or drinks. If you're consuming more food or drink daily, weekly, or monthly than what your body's actually burning, you will gain weight. If you eat less than what you burn, you will lose weight. And if it balances out, which means you eat about the same as what you're burning, you will remain about the same. It's a basic law of thermodynamics. And you will see a lot of people now saying on social media that calorie deficit is a hoax or it does not work, when in reality, a deficit in calories is just a fundamental condition for it. Now, many people struggle with weight loss because they cannot consistently be on a calorie deficit. And the next 2 reasons that I will describe are the main culprits for that. So pay close attention, because I will even walk you through a checklist that you can actually do to see there's areas that you can improve on. On to reason number 3, poor lifestyle and nutrition habits. Frequently consuming highly processed foods or eating out a lot are 2 of the most common nutrition habits that typically hold other people back. But even after you started to make changes to your diet and maybe you're eating out less, many people still hit a plateau because they start slipping back into old habits. Maybe they're consistent at first when their motivation is super high, but then life gets in the way and they stop eating in the way that sustained their calorie deficit. Now, there's a list of questions that I like to use as an assessment tool for which areas of nutrition are maybe getting in the way of your results. I have one list specifically for people who are tracking macros and another one that is more general for people that are not necessarily tracking their calories or they're consuming every single day. I'll share the questions on both lists, but if you want all these questions in one place together, I actually have a really cool resource. It's a self-assessment checklist that you can download below so you can get it. Okay, so here's some of the questions. If you're tracking your macros and you've hit a weight loss plateau, ask yourself the following questions to get back on track. Am I getting enough carbohydrates? Am I frequently going over my carb goal? Am I getting enough protein? Am I going over my fats every single day? Am I going over my calories every single day? Am I frequently staying under my goals for fats? Am I struggling with tracking my nutrition consistently? Am I tracking everything that I'm consuming? Am I munching or picking on foods that I'm not logging on my tracking app? Am I waiting until the end of the day to put all my meals in an app? Am I reaching my fiber goals daily? Now, whether you're tracking macros or not, I recommend also asking yourself this next set of questions, which I think are going to be more in line with the people that are not necessarily tracking. Am I choosing more higher fiber complex carbs for my meals and snacks? Am I planning my food or just doing things on the go? Am I consuming enough vegetables every single day? Am I adding enough fruit every single day? Am I struggling to stay organized with my food and being consistent with my meal schedule? Am I drinking enough water every day? Am I staying consistent through the weekend? Am I consuming maybe too many liquid calories like alcohol and juices, etc.? Am I going to the bathroom regularly? Your answers to these questions will allow you to pinpoint the areas where you can start to make changes and create more consistency in the nutrition habits that are actually going to support your weight loss goals. Now, similarly to nutrition habits, there's also a list of questions to go through that can help you identify certain areas that you need to focus on when it comes down to your lifestyle. Now, when it comes down to movement, you need to ask yourself, am I staying active during the day? Maybe walking, or am I sitting most of the day? Am I training hard enough? Am I training frequently enough? Am I training too much and feel exhausted every single day? Now, it's also important to consider maybe things like stress and stress management and sleep. These are questions I always like to ask myself as a self-assessment checklist. Am I more stressed this week than usual? Am I going to bed later than usual? Am I using technology late in the evening? Am I sleeping deeply and soundly or struggling to stay asleep? Am I waking up tired? Am I struggling to get up in the morning? Am I eating too late at night? Poor stress management and also sleep can affect your weight loss by causing you to eat a lot more calories every single day. These habits may also affect your hormones in ways that make it difficult for you to be able to accomplish your weight loss goals. Now that you've gone through a lot of these questions, you can now come up with an action plan to break through those plateaus that you've been actually experiencing. So for example, maybe you realize that you're not hitting your daily fiber goal and you're sitting most of the day and you're eating late at night. So maybe for the next week, make an effort to add more high fiber foods into your diet. Maybe block a couple of daily walks into your schedule and aim to stop eating at least 2 hours before bedtime. Your personal plan of action might be totally different, but this is just to give you an idea of what a targeted plan to improve your habits might look like. Reason number 4 is your emotional health. Many people have a deep connection between food and emotion, and it's possible that you're using food to manage stress or seek comfort, which often leads to overeating. Essentially, you know what to do to lose weight, but your emotional states sometimes are getting in the way of doing those things consistently. The first step in solving that problem is recognizing when the actual emotional eating is happening. And to do this, what I personally recommend is to check in with yourself at any time you're about to start eating. Ask yourself, am I physically hungry, or am I just eating for another reason like anger, happiness, exhaustion, or maybe stress? I recommend using a hunger and fullness scales to help you get there as well. Here's how it works. Imagine a scale that goes from 0 to 10. When you're comfortable, meaning you're not too hungry or too full, you're maybe rate that as a 5 on the scale. And as you get hungrier, you might go down to a 4 or a 3 and so on. When you get hungry, maybe the scale goes up above a 5, where 10 will be so full that you feel sick. Normally, you want to try to have something to eat maybe between when you're at a 3 or a 4. If you're rating your physical hunger above a 5, but still feeling a drive to eat, it's likely that you're being influenced by emotions. The topic of emotional eating, honestly, is too big to get into this video. So make sure that if you really want to hear about this, drop a comment below if this is something that you're personally struggling with and you want me to actually walk you through a process of maybe overcoming this. And I can make a whole video about it. All right, last but not least, reason number 5, health and medical factors. There are certain biological factors that can influence your ability to lose weight, and they can make weight loss very, very hard, but not impossible. These things typically include things like PCOS in women, maybe hypothyroidism, insulin resistance, and diabetes, and there are genetic predispositions to carry extra weight for some people. Now, I added this as the last reasons because many people tend to dismiss reasons 1 through 4 that I explained today and immediately blame their health condition or genetics for the struggles with weight loss. In reality, many of these people have not spent enough time correcting the first 4 problems. You need to start with reasons 1 through 4 before you can start blame factors that are outside of your control. So to recap, there are 5 key reasons you might be struggling with weight loss. Number 1 is setting unrealistic expectations. Number 2 is misinformation. Number 3, poor lifestyle and nutrition habits. Number 4 is emotional health. And finally, number 5 is medical and genetic factors. Now, when it comes down to fixing these issues, some of them have easy solutions, while others might require some more guidance, especially if there are several different areas where your habits could use a lot of improvement. Now, if you're looking for help or for a proven plan to cut through a lot of the misinformation that you find online and build the mindset, the lifestyle, the nutrition, and the movement habits that are going to help you get to your weight loss goals, I created a free video training on the 4-step system that I use with all of my clients to help them get to that place. These are the same steps that they follow to lose 15 to 30 pounds in as little as 12 weeks while still balancing things like kids and a busy career. Now, if you want to watch this 15-minute training, I'm going to put the link in the description box so you can check it out. That is all that I have for you today. I hope it really helped you pinpoint the root cause of your struggles with weight loss so you can start making some changes today and see the results that you're looking for. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe. We've been really working super hard around the clock to make sure that we bring out incredible value in our YouTube channel. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss anything out. I'll see you again in a week when my new video comes out. Bye for now.